Ladies and gentlemen, Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene has officially lost her fucking mind. So, in response to Donald Trump and his cronies being indicted in Fulton County, Georgia, she proceeded to release a statement on her Twitter yesterday afternoon, and she got every single possible conspiracy that the Republicans have pretty much ever put forth in recent years. She says a lot of stuff here, and we're gonna try to go over it. And it's a lot, guys. It's pretty fucking wild. All of these communist indictments. First thing, right out of the gate, first 4 words, or first 5 words. These indictments are not communism. They have nothing to do with communism. And if you were calling an indictment against Trump or anybody involved in any of Trump's criminal activity communist, you're a fucking idiot. You do not know at all, even the slightest bit, what communism actually is. It's not communist in any way, shape, or form. Are about silencing President Trump's speech and ultimately your free speech. No, it's not about silencing Trump's free speech. Specifically, these indictments in Fulton County, Georgia. Trump literally he sent people in to go in and copy voting machine software. They stole things that did not belong to them. They took shit that they were not supposed to have on Trump's order, and that's why. That's why a lot of these indictments are coming down now. It's not about free speech. It has nothing to do with that. Donald Trump stole shit that did not belong to him, that he had no right to steal. The radical left has always been trying to destroy free speech by telling you that you can't say things like this. The election was stolen. The election was not stolen. I've been over this. I don't know how many times we have to go over this. There is no evidence to support the election was stolen. We have tangible, undeniable, 100% proof that Donald Trump actually did try to steal the election. So the election wasn't stolen because Trump's coup failed. Trump won. Again, Trump didn't win. I don't understand how an elected official, part of our federal government, I don't understand how Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene can literally be an elected representative and then go on her official Twitter account and say the election was stolen, Trump won. She shouldn't be serving. She needs to be impeached and disbarred. She should not. This person should not have any power in her hands. End of story. Period. Voting machines can be hacked to change votes and steal elections. Now, this is where we're going to start to get into some of the things and actually fact check what she's saying. Can the Dominion voting software switch votes from Trump to Biden? No, they can't. This is a claim that has been being repeated since the election in 2020. There's absolutely no evidence of this happening. Federal officials have said there was no widespread fraud or irregularities during the election, and most states use paper ballots that can be audited to double-check the vote totals. Experts have said those ideas are devoid of factual backing, meaning it's not true. There is literally no evidence to support that. And again, you can go onto dominionvoting.com right now. They have an entire page dedicated to all this stuff, like updated August 15th. Wow, that was 1 day ago. 1 day ago. You can go on there right now. You can read about the 2020 election, and they have all of their information is very public. They are very, very transparent. But Rep. MTG and the Republicans wouldn't have you think that way. Mass absentee ballot mailings created massive election fraud. This is what she says right here. And again, if candidates believe there has been voter fraud, this is from Brookings EDU. If candidates believe there has been voter fraud, they can present evidence regarding a particular race to the election board or file a lawsuit in a local court. All of Trump's lawsuits got thrown out. Every single fucking lawsuit Trump presented in all of the different states, they all got thrown out. Authorities review the evidence and decide if there has been actual fraud. If there is sufficient evidence, local prosecutors can indict the relevant people for mail ballot fraud. Donald Trump tried to commit fucking voter fraud, and he got indicted for it. It is a criminal offense to forge a name on a mail ballot, impersonate someone else, steal ballots, or deceive someone about their mail ballot. According to the Brennan Center for Justice at New York University, there is no evidence that mail balloting increases electoral fraud, as there are several anti-fraud protections built into the process designed to make it difficult to impersonate voters or steal ballots. And then they link to this right here, why a vote by mail option is necessary. And there are a lot of people that actually vote by mail. And, Marjorie Taylor Greene is sitting there saying, well, mail-in ballots, that creates fraud. But nearly 4 in 10 Trump voters say they voted in person on Election Day. Only 4 in 10 Trump voters, according to Pew Research Center, voted in person. So it seems like the Republicans don't have a problem using mail-in ballots because they know that they're safe. And this is just a little anecdote that I do want to share. And I think I've shared this. I'm not 100% sure if I've shared this or not. But in the it wasn't a 2020 election. It was my 2021 gubernatorial race in Virginia. So I thought that I was going to have to be working on the day of the election. And so I requested a mail-in ballot, and they sent me a mail-in ballot. And I never filled it out. I opened it, and I never filled it out. I just never got around to it. And I actually wound up getting off the day of the election. So I was able to go to the polls when there wasn't a lot of people there. And when I went to the polls, I took my ballot with me. My unfilled, I didn't mark it, didn't do anything to it. I took my ballot with me, and when I went in to vote, I surrendered my mail-in ballot to them. And they took my ballot, and they have a process for doing that. The ballot was surrendered, and then I got to vote like normal. If people really think that election fraud is going on like this, they're out of their fucking wit, okay? Not even close. And again, if you are trying to commit election fraud, even on a small, put someone else's name on a ballot, your ass is going to get cooked, okay? You cannot do that. You will get in so much trouble if you try to commit voter fraud, even on the smallest scale, okay? January 6th was not an insurrection. Again, I made a video months and months ago of Marjorie Taylor Greene literally going on stage and saying that January 6th was an attempted coup. But she said that it wasn't really a coup because it didn't work. So, is it not an insurrection, or was it a failed insurrection? Because a couple of months ago you were saying that it's a failed insurrection, but now it's not an insurrection at all. So January 6th was a Fedsurrection. And why isn't Ray Epps and others like him locked up like other January 6ers? So she's saying that, January 6th, it was planned by the feds, right? It was all staged. It was all just a big ploy to get Trump out of office, right? No, that's not true. It's not planned. There is no evidence of that. Tucker Carlson and Kevin McCarthy want to sit there and, take 2 hours of thousands and thousands of hours of January 6th footage and, present this narrative on their big Fox News network and say, well, this is really what happened. Well, no, if you really wanted to be clear and transparent, you would let the people see all of the evidence, but no, they're not going to do that. They want to cherry pick. But the Ray Epps thing, so Ray Epps actually said that he is going to be charged for January 6th. And for those of you that may not be familiar with Ray Epps, I do recommend that you go and look him up for yourself and do some research, because there is a lot regarding this specific person. But basically, Ray Epps was a person that fell down the conservative rabbit hole really, really far. He was at January 6th during the insurrection, and he actually wound up suing Fox News. He wound up suing Fox News because he literally was brainwashed. And then he started working with prosecutors and helping them gather evidence and realize what exactly happened on January 6th. And again, Ray Epps literally said in his defamation lawsuit against Fox News that he filed that he is going to be charged. So the Ray Epps thing, again, is completely out. He literally said that he is going to have charges come down on him. Nancy Pelosi, I'm sorry, I need to show this. Nancy Pelosi is responsible for the security breach at the Capitol on January 6th. She refused to bring in the National Guard and knew the threats ahead of time. So I thought wait, what? If it wasn't an insurrection, then why do you need the National Guard? I'm so confused here. None of this is making any sense. I'm sorry. Going back to the Ray Epps thing, they have the official defamation lawsuit. This is a link to the actual lawsuit. So for anyone that thinks that I'm not presenting the evidence, here's the goddamn lawsuit right there, okay? But back to Nancy Pelosi. Only Nancy Pelosi is responsible for what happened on at the Capitol on January 6th. Security at the Capitol is her job. This is a PolitiFact fact check. No, Capitol security is not only Pelosi's responsibility, but she bears some. Capitol security is not solely the responsibility of the House Speaker. It is provided by the Sergeant-at-Arms of the House and Senate and by the Capitol Police. The House Sergeant-at-Arms reports to the House Speaker or Pelosi at the time of the attack. The Senate Sergeant-at-Arms reports to the Senate Majority Leader on January 6th, Senator Mitch McConnell. I didn't hear Marge say anything about Mitch McConnell, though. News reports indicate that in the days before the attack, House Sergeant-at-Arms Paul Irving resisted calls from the Capitol Police to bring in the National Guard for extra security at the Capitol because of optics. Irving later testified that intelligence reports didn't show the need for the extra security, not that he rejected it because of optics. So again, it doesn't matter. Everything that Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying in this it's either 100% false or it's framed in the most disingenuous, false way that you can sit there and say, well, that's not really what happened. Moving right along. There are only 2 genders / sexes. Now, again, this is something that, when we start getting into these types of things, we need to look at what the evidence really says, not what people believe or not what their religion tells them to supposedly believe, okay? That's not what we're doing here. We're not basing anything off of God or Christianity or Catholicism or whatever. We're using science. That's what we're going to do. We're going to use science here. Excuse me. Sex refers to a set of biological attributes in humans and animals. It is primarily associated with physical and physiological features, including chromosomes, gene expression, hormone levels, and function, and reproductive / sexual anatomy. Sex is usually categorized as female or male, but there is variation in the biological attributes that comprise sex and how those attributes are expressed. Gender refers to the socially constructed roles, behaviors, expressions, and identities of girls, women, boys, men, and gender-diverse people. It influences how people perceive themselves and each other and how they act and interact, and the distribution of power, and resources in society. Gender identity is not confined to a binary girl, woman, boy, man, nor is it static. It exists along a continuum and can change over time. This is something that conservatives and Republican hog brains cannot wrap their mind around. They cannot get through their head that gender is a social construct, and even when it comes to the term sex, even when you're just referring to the term sex, there is still nuance there. They literally cannot understand that. When it comes to science, conservatives' brains literally implode. They fucking implode on themselves. It's sad, really. That's what it is. Trans surgeries are genital mutilation. Again, this is it's so fucking crazy to say. I don't know why these people are so focused on genitals. I really need an answer for this. Why are you focused on someone else's genitalia? Why do these people keep talking about genitalia? What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you talking about genitalia so much? Are you a 12-year-old boy going through puberty? What is the obsession with other people's genitals? Please, for God's sake, can you stop being a fucking creep? You absolute fucking weirdo. Children are being groomed to believe gender lies. I don't know what she means when she says gender lies. Again, this is something that is very, very, very open fact. This is something that we've known for a long time. Gender is a social construct. I don't care where you go. Yale Medicine, Harvard, Mayo Clinic, fucking Brookings. I don't care. You can go anywhere. Anything that's not fucking straight conservative media is going to tell you that gender is a social construct. I don't know what she means when she says children are being groomed to believe gender lies. If talking about the existence of transgender people and how gender is a social construct and, you can be someone who's non-gender conforming, you don't say you're a male or a female. If that's grooming children, then it's not, okay? That's not the correct word. That's not the correct definition in this context to use that word. It's just, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Grooming children about sex is what pedophiles do. So the original tweet is, the radical left has been trying to destroy free speech by telling you can't say things like this, but I feel like grooming children about sex is what pedophiles do that's like a pretty basic thing that most people believe, and I think it's extremely odd and weird that Marjorie Taylor Greene threw this up there, especially because she's really, really good friends. She's really, really good friends with Matt Gaetz right here, and as many of you might remember, Matt Gaetz was actually investigated for sex trafficking, child sex trafficking, so that's nice, I guess, but she's not going to talk about that. But again, I feel like most people, normal people that aren't pedophiles, agree with the grooming children about sex is what pedophiles do. That's pretty accurate. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Hollywood and the music industry is filled with pedophiles and Satanists. Just one Satanist, not Satanists, plural. Just one. There's just one Satanist. Again, filled with pedophiles and Satanists. Okay, I don't care about this. If you're a Satanist, cool. That's totally fine. Whatever. I've never had a problem with Satanists. I really haven't. I've met a few who say people that say they're a true Satanist. You want to know who I do have a problem with? I have a problem with Christians. I have a problem with Rep MTG, who the first thing in her goddamn bio is Christian. And these are the same people that make fun of people that have pronouns in their bio. No, I have a problem with Christians, specifically Marjorie Taylor Greene right now, okay? So, the Satanist thing, I don't care about that. Who the fuck cares if you're a Satanist? Whatever, that's cool. Again, I've never had a problem with a Satanist at all in my life. I've had many problems with people that claim to be Christian. And she says they're filled with pedophiles. Every industry has pedophiles in it, okay? It doesn't matter where you look. You could fucking there's all pedophiles exist everywhere, and that's I'm not saying that pedophilia is okay or whatever, but it's just like you can't just say that, okay? Hollywood is filled with pedophiles. Yeah, so there's pedophiles all over the fucking world, Marge. Jesus Christ. The trans medical industry is targeting children, and they belong in jail. Mental health benefits associated with gender-affirming care, especially with youth, is something that I have talked about extensively on this channel. It's just undeniable fact that gender-affirming care, gender-affirming surgery only promotes positive mental and physical health benefits. It's just fact. It is fact. You can sit there and say, well, the trans medical industry, the people that do these, they belong in jail. No, I feel like you need to have your platform taken away. You need to be impeached and disbarred for saying nasty shit like this, Marge. That's what I think. I think that we need to be focused on taking the power away from you because you do not deserve any of it or need any of it. Abortion is not women's health care. It is the brutal murder of the most innocent human life. Again, if we're going to get into the abortion thing, no, this is not true. The evidence, the science does not support this claim of it is brutal murder of the most innocent human life. And abortion is most certainly women's health care. I cannot take the fact that fucking one of the most privileged people, one of the most privileged white people, she literally fucking has this podcast that she does all the time. She lives in a nice place, okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene has definitely, since she has risen to this status that she has now, her life has definitely changed for the better, okay? I mean, like, her living life, right? It's just, I'm so tired of hearing someone that, is this entitled talk about everyone else's healthcare. She gets to, say this for everyone else. It is healthcare for some people, asshole. It actually really is. So, and these next two are ones that I really don't know how to feel about these. Not that I don't, not saying like I agree with them. I feel like I can't add a lot to this. Being a mother is the greatest adventure of a woman's lifetime, even when it starts as a big mistake. Yeah, that's not a great, I'm guessing this is supposed to be like the anti-abortion thing. That's not a great anti-abortion argument. Being a mother is the greatest adventure of a woman's lifetime. Okay, maybe for you, that might have been the case, Marge. It's a really weird thing to say. The next one is even weirder, in my opinion. God will fill you with love like you've never known before for your unwanted baby and will send you help to survive and thrive. No, this is why women need to have access to abortion. Because if there was someone that really needed an abortion for a medical reason, and they got told, God will fill you with love like you've never known before for your unwanted baby and will send you help to survive and thrive. I don't know what the fuck. I don't even know how someone would react to something so goddamn stupid. But again, Marge, can you please stop imposing your religion on every other fucking person? What if you don't believe in God? What if you believe in another religion? What if you don't believe in any religion at all? How does that help? That shit does not help. I cannot believe that her anti-abortion argument is God will fill you with love. Are you fucking kidding me? What a nasty piece of shit. Marjorie Taylor Greene is literally one of the nastiest people I think I've ever seen in my entire life. And again, less than 1% of abortions happen in the third trimester. Just needed to make that little note there. So she goes on, COVID shutdowns are/were wrong. No, this isn't true. And again, it doesn't matter where you go and look for this, but COVID deaths were much higher in red states. This is something that we have evidence. We're still getting evidence in, and the more evidence we get in, the more it supports this claim. The red states had far higher COVID deaths than blue states. So if you lived in a Republican state and you listen to people like Marjorie Taylor Greene say that COVID shutdowns were wrong, or take ivermectin to save your life from COVID. I actually don't have this one pulled up, but I am going to pull it up just for context right here. The people that make ivermectin, Merck, I actually don't know how to pronounce it. They have a fucking, this is a pharmaceutical company, okay? Let's just get that straight first. This is a blog post on the people that make ivermectin's website of them literally saying, don't fucking take ivermectin to treat COVID. Company scientists continue to carefully examine the findings of all available and emerging studies of ivermectin for the treatment of COVID-19 for evidence and efficacy and safety. No scientific basis for a potential therapeutic effect against COVID-19 from preclinical studies. No meaningful evidence for clinical activity or clinical efficacy in patients with COVID-19 disease, and a concerning lack of safety data in the majority of studies. Do not fucking take fucking ivermectin for COVID. Even the pharmaceutical companies. The company that all pharmaceutical companies care about is money. We know this. If they're coming out and saying, don't buy our shit, then you know it has to be somewhat serious. I mean, obviously, you know, they don't want to be sued. That's probably exactly what that is. But they're literally saying, don't. Again, you know, if a pharmaceutical company is telling you not to take their drug, at that point, I'm probably going to listen to the pharmaceutical company, not Marjorie Taylor Greene, again, who's not a doctor or a scientist. Don't wear a mask. Don't wear a mask or take an experimental vaccine. So they think that the real COVID vaccines don't work. See, the COVID vaccines are killing people, but then she's saying take an experimental vaccine? Can somebody make this make sense for me here? Because my brain it's slowly melting. I feel like someone put my brain in a microwave and it's slowly turning every time I read something that she says. And it's at the point where half of it is literally just puddle. Don't wear a mask or take an experimental vaccine. Natural immunity is real immunity. COVID vaccines don't work. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how else to say it. The COVID vaccines are killing people. It's just not true. So the reason that she's saying that is because not too long ago, some random motherfucker on social media posted just a random post and said, well, COVID vaccines were responsible for like 300,000 plus excess deaths. It's not true. It's just not true at all. There is no evidence to support that the COVID vaccines caused deaths at all. There's literally just no scientific evidence to support that claim. Carbon is not causing climate change. The Earth's climate has always changed. Again, much like her abortion argument, this is the weakest argument that you can possibly make for something like, being anti, doing something about climate change, right? Okay? And again, I don't understand. Can someone please explain to me how shifting to renewable forms of energy is a bad thing? How is this bad? I don't understand how this is a bad thing. Why is it bad? How much money is someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene taking from, oil companies? Is she taking lobbying money from oil companies? Because there's no reason, literally no reason, anybody should be against renewable forms of energy unless you're taking fucking unless you're taking oil lobbying money or you're a fucking idiot. Those are the only two reasons. Because one day, Actually, I'm sorry. She totally just throws this in the middle of her climate change thing. She can't even keep it all straight. The border is wide open. Cartels are controlling the border, and the Biden administration is responsible for deadly human and drug trafficking. This is not true. This is not true at all. But Marge. You're blaming Biden for the border, but Trump was president for 4 years, and he said that he was gonna build a wall. Where's Trump's wall at, you fucking idiot? Where the fuck was Trump's wall at? Don't blame Biden for the border, because Trump was the one who, his whole entire goddamn fucking president, that's one of the things that got him elected, was the wall. Where's Trump's wall at? Huh? It's Biden's fault? These people are fucking ridiculous. They're hypocrites. Their hypocrisy literally knows no bounds. Fossil fuels are our most important form of energy and must be protected. One day, the fossil fuels are going to run out. One day, they're going to go down, and they're going to get their little big drill rigs, and they're going to go down, and there's not going to be anything there. It's all going to be gone. And if we don't start shifting, it's probably too late now, but we should have slowly started implementing changes to shift to renewable forms of energy. Plus, again, it's scientific fact that fossil fuels contribute to our Earth getting warmer. It's safer. These renewable energy sources are safer than fossil fuels. Why does someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene say she cares about America, but then she doesn't want to make it a safer place? This person is fucking insane, and she needs to never be able to run for any type of public office ever, because she's fucking crazy. The Green New Deal is a communist manifesto for climate cultists. I can't. I really can't with that. What the fuck is a climate cultist? You are in a cult, Marge. You are the one in a cult sitting there saying, Trump won the election and the election was stolen. Absolutely ridiculous. If I ever see Marjorie Taylor Greene in real life, I am going to laugh my ass off, because that person is a clown. But the Green New Deal, Communist Manifesto. So this is the actual bill presented by AOC right here. But there's a New York Times article that gives a nice little short spiel on it. It says the entire world needs to get to net zero emissions by 2050, meaning as much carbon would have to be absorbed as released into the atmosphere, and the United States must take a leading role in achieving that. The Green New Deal calls on the federal government to dramatically reduce greenhouse gas emissions, create high-paying jobs, ensure that clean air, clean water, and healthy food are basic human rights, and end all forms of oppression. And again, we can... It's right here. It lays everything out about it. Mass migration from the regions most affected by climate change, more than 500 trillion or billion in lost annual economic output in the United States by the year 2100. I'm really bad with numbers. Sorry about that. But my point is, so I don't look more embarrassed trying to read out these numbers, is there's nothing communist about anything in this goddamn country. There's no communism anywhere in this country. If these people that are saying any of this shit is communism are fucking brainless, okay? They are brainless. There's nothing communist about the Green New Deal. Drill, baby, drill. Again, most of our politicians on the right and the left, as much as I'd hate to admit it, they're pro-fracking, okay? They are pro, oil drilling. And, I'd hate to say that, but a lot of our politicians, well, again, that are Democrats and Republicans, are pro-fracking, and I really do think that needs to change. Joe Biden is a criminal and controlled puppet of the intelligence community, Ukraine, and the globalist elites. Show me evidence of Joe Biden being a criminal. You show me evidence, that's fine. If you have undeniable, real proof evidence of Joe Biden being a criminal, doing something criminal activity, yeah, okay, that's fine. There is no evidence. You have not, none of the Republicans have presented any evidence. None of the House Oversight Committee has brought about any fucking evidence of Joe Biden being a criminal or the Biden crime family. We should not be funding the Ukraine war. America is losing the proxy war against Russia. America should not be involved in regime change in foreign countries. We should not be funding the Ukraine war. Again, this is something that, there's a lot of people that feel really strongly about the Ukraine war. I do think that we should be sending aid to Ukraine. I don't think that we should be... I don't understand how these people are seriously, how is Putin the good guy now? If you think Putin's the good guy, you're a traitor. Leave my country. Literally go. I don't want you in my country if you think Putin is the good guy. He's not. That man is destroying Ukraine. That man thinks Ukraine is his. It is not his. Ukraine is not Russia's land. He is murdering innocent people. Putin is one of the biggest war criminals of all time. I do not want to hear any more bullshit. Do you know what America would do to a country if they invaded us? Do you know what we would do to them? We would flatten that goddamn country. We would flatten them. Okay? If anyone tried anything to us, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And, again, America should not be involved in regime change in foreign countries. It's most Republicans that are pro-imperialism, pro-American imperialism. I do know a lot of people that agree that, America, we shouldn't be involved in, other countries and, their governments and their shit. We just shouldn't be involved in it at all. But again, a lot of people on the right are the ones that are pro-America imperialism. The Ukraine war should be over, but the U.S. involvement is pushing us toward World War III. Again, this isn't true, but again, if you think Putin's the good guy, I really just think you're a traitor. I feel like you're an agent of Russia. I really do. There's no reason for someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene to sit here and position herself and say, well, Putin's the good guy. Putin's not the good guy. If you think Putin's the good guy, what the fuck? Are you working for Russia? Are you getting paid by Russia? America pushed Russia into the arms of China by funding the Ukraine war, and that is now destabilizing and changing the world's economy, ultimately making China the world's #1 superpower. Show me. Marge, show me. Show me evidence of this, please. Please show me undeniable, real proof that this is what's going on right now. Struggling Americans can't afford gas, food, and rent because of inflation caused by Green New Deal policies. Nope, it's not it. This is not it. And the Ukraine war causing soaring inflation and energy costs. Again, us sending aid to Ukraine has nothing to do with inflation. Okay? Inflation has gotten worse in the past couple of years, but if you look at inflation statistics, it's been slowly going up. Okay? This is just all you have to do is look up the facts, okay? It's that easy. Our country was founded on Judeo-Christian principles by God-fearing Christian men. Now, this one really had me going earlier, okay? Let me tell you. This one really had me going, and I'm not going to read this whole article, but I found a really, really good article. It's short, which is why I like it. Not that I don't like to read, but I feel like if you can get your point across in the least amount of words, then that's the most effective. On atheist.org, where they go over, they reference multiple different books and writings, but they go over what a lot of the founding fathers, supported. And, it's just Marjorie Taylor Greene's claim that the country was founded on Judeo-Christian principles and the founding fathers were God-fearing men is, it's not true, because a lot of the founding fathers were supported deism. They were American deists. They didn't think that, God or, only believing in what Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying, Judeo-Christian principles is, not all of them sat there and that's what they did. Most of the founding fathers, with the exception of like 2 of them, were some of the most horrible people ever. They were all terrible human beings. Again, with the exception of 1 or 2 of them. But this is just, again, you go back and look at the actual historical evidence, it'd be hard to support that claim. Our country can only be saved by returning to God. Can you please stop imposing your religion on other people? Please, stop. Stop fucking doing that. I don't believe in this, so stop doing that. This is why we need something like separation of church and state, because of people like this. Marjorie Taylor Greene is literally one of the most prime examples of why we need church and state. God is not going to turn the country around like that. If these people seriously just think that praying to God is going to make all of these problems go away, you're fucking insane. And you just need to have all your power stripped away from you. The only way to stop a good guy with a gun is with a good guy with a gun. Other than the really bad grammar there. My computer's screaming at me. I've been over this so many times on the channel. It's not true. It's just not true. The only thing that guns do is create more violence. So the more guns are, and you want to know what? I'm going to throw this up because I think this is really important. This is why you do not, and I can't show this video because it will get fucking flagged because it's already flagged. This is why you don't want to be the good guy with a gun Because you literally you will literally die. You will die if you try to stop a shooting. Hold on, I don't know where this is. There is a video from a channel, a self-defense channel here on YouTube. Here it is. I'm going to show you guys the video. I cannot play this video because it is literally age restricted, okay? It's called Concealed Carrier Loses His Life Trying to Stop Mass Shooting. Okay. Computer's screaming at me again. So, in this video, there is a man, or I believe 2 people that enter a store with guns and they start shooting, and a man who has a concealed weapon tries to pull out the gun and stop the shooting, and he loses his life. He loses his life, and the man, he was trying to save the people. Do not try to be a good guy with a gun. We need to start figuring out gun control. We need to implement sweeping gun control in this country so we can stop tragedies and stop shootings from happening altogether. 2 more guns? That's literally the saying, you fight fire with fire. No. If a firefighter's rolled up to a house that's on fire and fire came out of their hose, that's not going to make the fire go away. Just like a good guy with a gun isn't going to that's not going to stop the shooting. That's just going to be another fucking death. That's literally just going to be one more death. And once they destroy our First Amendment free speech, they are coming for our Second Amendment rights. They will disarm Americans, and they can't wait to do it. Yes, that is exactly what we want, the left wants. We want your guns. We want your rights. We want this to be fucking totalitarian fucking, you don't have any rights. And just whatever. But that's going to be it for the video. I know this is a really, really, really long video. I didn't know it was going to go this long. Let me know what you thought of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Let me know what you thought of everything that she said. Let me know what you thought of the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, press that little bell, turn on all notifications so you guys never miss an upload.